Hi, my name is Patrick Kelly. I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I'm representing the Illinois Green Party today in our bid to host the 2008 National Convention. I agree wholeheartedly with what Brett said earlier. This is the most important election, in my view, this is the most important election we've had. We had a real watershed in 2000. 2008 is another opportunity to really grow as a party. And I want our convention to reflect the growing Green Party and really propel us into a higher profile. And if we bring the convention to Chicago, I believe that we can get a lot of people there. It is a central location. We can have a high profile when we're in town. Just the people walking around, the venues, and the media also. Chicago's home to a lot of media outlets. We're going to have media coverage. Then, all of this kind of culminates into the real thing that's important to us, that what we need, what our voters need, is we will be inspired. This will be an inspiring convention. And this will nourish us for 4 years and hopefully beyond. So that's kind of behind all of the decisions that were made in putting this together. Basically, what I'm proposing is that we have the convention at the Blackstone Hotel. And it's a hotel a lot like this. It's an older hotel. They have a room about this size. The thing about Blackstone is, and it has a really interesting political history, I have to say. They've hosted 12 presidents. Warren G. Harding was there, and he was nominated in, quote, smoke-filled rooms. That's where the term came from, is the room at the Blackstone. Kennedy was there when the Bay of Pigs invasion happened, I'm told. Eisenhower watched the first televised convention from his room there. But this is, the Blackstone sort of fell into disrepair, and I think it's sort of a metaphor for what happened to the political culture in this country. It fell into disrepair. It got closed for code violations several years ago. It's now being renovated with, green building standards. They're going to have a green roof even. And it's going to be completely modern. And I just think that that is the perfect symbol for what we're trying to do with national politics. So I think it's a perfect venue for us. It's small enough that we can take over the whole place. We can have a lot of we can use the common areas more. Also, another part of the bid is the Blackstone is not big enough to hold our super rally and our big nominating convention. So my thought is to take it outside to, there are a lot of theaters around there. And clearly the best theater is the Chicago Theater. I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. You probably have. It's a huge sign that says Chicago. It's the most eye-catching marquee in the whole city. And imagine the Green Party name right there on that marquee. So this is kind of what I'm proposing. It's a huge presence in the downtown area. It's a lot of people walking around, looking at the sign, seeing a lot of green t-shirts walking everywhere, seeing our rallies like at Federal Plaza, where we have had many anti-war rallies, seeing us having a picnic in Grand Park on Lakefront, or doing a march or something like that. This convention is really about bringing together people, presence that we can have in downtown Chicago. If we have that, if we can get the numbers, and by the way, Chicago being where it is in the country, it is very centrally located. It is the center of our nation's transportation system. 2 major airports, direct flights from just about every airport, probably the one closest to us. Not every place can say that. And there are more carriers, more flights, more options for you. It's going to be cheaper, probably, for the whole party. So it's good for getting people into the convention, which is important. We need to have a huge presence. The Chicago Theater holds 3,600 people. We can have as many people as want to come. So I really think that we will have an enormous presence. The other component of that is the media. In 2006, you may know, we ran a governor's campaign, Ridge Whitney, who did very well. We got 351,000 votes, roughly. That's good enough for 10%. He established our state party. Part of that campaign, after the ballot drive was over and after the defense happened, it really became a media campaign because, believe it or not, this may surprise you, the media didn't want to cover us. And we really had to. I know, it's shocking. But they didn't want to cover us, and we had to really go after them every day. We had to say, why didn't you include Rich in this poll? Why isn't he in this article? Et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This really worked. We got it to work. We did it all the time, every day, from like September through the end of the campaign. Rich, the support just swelled. You know, the more he got in the media, the more people knew. You know, it was a whole, snowball effect. We can do the same thing for the convention. There's no reason why we can't. The networks, since 1952, as I mentioned, have been covering these conventions for, gavel to gavel, giving them free advertising. And they haven't covered ours at all. I think it was on C-SPAN. Well, I know it was because I watched it on C-SPAN 4 years ago. But we need to get the networks involved. And we need to go to them and say, do the same thing that we did in Illinois. You're giving them free coverage, why aren't you giving us coverage? How many reporters are you going to send to us? You're going to send one, but you're sending them 500. This is we need to really get active and get into the media space. The whole result of it will be to get as many media as possible there. The good thing about the Blackstone and the Chicago Theater, our two venues, we can accommodate them. Those are big venues. And another great thing about Chicago, it has hosted 28 conventions. That is more than any other city. Presidential nominating conventions. That is more than any other city. We have a long history going back to 1860 when Abraham Lincoln was nominated in Illinois. We've nominated a lot of presidents, including Franklin Delano Roosevelt and William Jennings Bryan, who was not a president, but he was still pretty good. And there were of course, everyone always thinks of the 1968 Democratic Convention. Well, next year is the 40th anniversary of that convention. Let me tell you. So the Blackstone is right where the skirmishes happened in downtown. There was the Hilton. They were at the Hilton, and the Blackstone was right across the street. All this stuff happened right there. The storylines that the media can draw on, they're ready there. They're there to pick up. Not only that, just the history and everything. That's all great and everything. But we really need to focus the media also on today. And I think the media is focusing on the Illinois Green Party. We've had a couple, profiles of like our library board candidate and our school board candidate. They got coverage just because they're green and they're new and they're different, and they got elected. The media wants to cover the Green Party because it's new. It's part of this green movement, which is getting coverage everywhere. Every aspect of the green movement is getting covered, and now it is time for the political aspect to get covered. And I think the networks can do it. So that is the other half of this component. Chicago being a high-profile town with a lot of media that's already here, it's very convenient for them to come here. And we will have a distinct presence when we're here. So with that, that in itself, I think will really give us a chance to make this convention remarkable. And I've been thinking about it the last 6 months when I've been working on it. The thing that's been driving me is all of us, even more people, from all over the country, from all over the state and region, just gathered together in the Chicago Theater, just packing the place, roaring with excitement for our new presidential nominee. The cameras rolling, the bloggers clicking away on their computers. It's really exciting, and I want this convention to be exciting, and I hope you all choose Chicago. Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Greg Jan from Oakland, Alameda County. Leslie Vaughn and John Morton. And we have two sites in Alameda County for you to consider. One is in Oakland and one is in Berkeley. And before I get started with the formal part of our presentation, I'd like to introduce, we have 9 members from Alameda County here. Please stand up. Everyone stand up, please. So, you're welcome to talk with any of us after we finish the presentation. If you have any questions about Berkeley or Oakland. As was mentioned, please check out in your packets. We have 11 pages on our website. There's the Berkeley Community Theater, and above that's the Marriott Oakland. There's Marriott Oakland. So, yeah, be sure to check out the website. There's a lot of information on the website. All right, so first, John Morton's going to talk, and then Leslie, and then I'll finish it up.
Okay, we'd like to invite you all to come to Oakland and Berkeley for the 2008 nominating convention. We think it's really going to be a great place. And let me cite some points we talked about on our website. First of all, there's a strong Green Party presence in the Bay Area. Everybody knows Berkeley's history of radical and progressive movements, a free speech movement at the university in 1967, Mario Savio, People's Park. So there's a tradition in the area, and of course San Francisco itself is a center of gay activism and all kinds of social justice movements. In fact, there's 1,200 different social justice and progressive movements in the Bay Area, and about 300 of them are located in the Oakland-Berkeley area. So the Green Parties are very strong. The Alameda County Green Party, we have there's 6,000 registered Greens in Oakland, there's 4,000 registered Greens in Berkeley, San Francisco, the whole Bay Area is very strongly progressive and very supportive of the Greens. So we're expecting a great support for the convention when we have it there. In fact, basically in California, when we run Green candidates, we get 3 times the number of votes as registered Greens. So there's a big undercurrent of support for the Green Party, even among people who aren't registered Greens. So it's a very fertile area for us to have the convention. What else? Progressive green behavior, green candidates. We have Matt Gonzalez was elected as a Green to the San Francisco Board of Supervisors, and then he was elected by his fellow supervisors to be president of the board. He made tremendous allies of other progressive members on the board. The Green Party is considered the leader of the progressive community now in San Francisco. When Matt ran for mayor against Gavin Newsom, Gavin Newsom had to bring in Bill Clinton and Al Gore to come to speak for him because the Democrats were so scared of this Green who was running against them for mayor of one of the greatest cities in the country. And in fact, the only way that Newsom won, he won by 53 to 47%. The only way that he won was by getting the 15% of Republicans to vote for him, because the Democrats all defected to Matt. That's the atmosphere in the Bay Area, and that's the kind of support we can galvanize if we have the convention there. So we currently, Ross Mercarini took over Matt's spot on the San Francisco Board of Supervisors. San Francisco has passed all kinds of energy laws. The buildings, the public buildings are all going to be converted to solar energy. Ross put forward a proposition that was covered in the international press and it passed the Board of Supervisors to no more plastic bags in supermarkets or drugstores, Longs and Walgreens and all that. Now they have to have recyclable paper or compostable plastic bags. So it's really a dynamic area and a lot of support for green ideas. And I think if we have the convention there, it will really galvanize the area and pull a lot of people into the green movement. Is that it?
Thank you, John. Hi, I'm Leslie Bonnet, and I've been really happy, and I've just loved making my home in Oakland for the past 20 years. I originally grew up in New York City, and I've given out a lovely Oakland Convention Bureau guide to one per state who's present. Let me know if you're present and you don't think you had gotten one. And I guess I've gotten some more, but maybe I have to mail or see if other states still will show up. I should be able to just do that. And I also show you what we all do as Greens. We participated on this Beach and Peach project in April, about 10 of us are huddled up together in the letter I. That was all Green Party people, 30 or 40 or 50 who formed the letter I. And that's, we had a lot of fun in California. And I just want to tell you a little more about Oakland. And Oakland has 400,000 people, and there are at least 15 to 20% are lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender. And so there'll be a lot of connection with that community there. I've personally spoken to Holly Neer, and she would love to do a concert for us if we had the convention there, and possibly Joe Baez, and there are a lot of really great musicians. I want David Blatt to come up for a minute, my twin. Now, some of you may be baseball fans, and he's wearing an official Oakland A's shirt. Okay, thank you. I'm not pitching the A's. I'm pitching Oaksterdam. Who knows what Oaksterdam is? Mayor Ron Dellums just appointed me to the Measure Z Commission, which is an official city board of the city of Oakland. It is the board that is passed by 65% of the voters in Oakland to tax, regulate, and legalize marijuana in the city of Oakland. It is technically legal, though it's not really sold. By next year, there'll be cafes, so we will have a Measure Z party, I can guarantee you. So I'm It's legal to grow it, it's legal to have it, it's legal to sell small amounts from your home. So, two other points. We're probably the only place in the country that will not have weather, because I haven't been outside. Yesterday the weather was kind of nice. We do not have humidity in Oakland and Berkeley. It gets up to maybe 60%. We will have beautiful weather in the 70s, dry and clear. And so it would be very different from the Midwestern weather that you would get at the other three, as if we ever get outside and enjoy it. And one more thing, there's been no national convention in California since 2001, and so, I think it's time to bring it to the West Coast and distribute the wealth and the travel. So please come to Oakland and have a wonderful time.
Okay, to wrap up, as I mentioned, there's a lot of information on the website. I've got all the details, all the prices, you can compare everything. Just briefly on the two sites, I passed out some brochures on Oakland. Unfortunately, I don't have any on Berkeley, but we'll talk about that in a minute. If you didn't get a brochure, at least one per state. I have a few extras. So the Oakland site is the Marriott Oakland Convention Center. The hotel is attached to the convention site. How many people are here in Milwaukee? If you were at the Milwaukee Convention, please. Okay, so many of you know the facilities are somewhat similar, the look and the feel to the Milwaukee Convention Center. And so that's what it'll be like. And if you want to check out the prices, just check it out in the handout. There's a lot of details, too much to go over right now. In order to have it there, we'll need to commit to 250 rooms, which is pretty standard. And then there's some less expensive off-site housing. We have, as mentioned, we have 12,000 greens in the county, so we can do homestays for those that won't be able to afford hotels at all. And it's a great location for both sites. They're both right near the BART station, which means that very easy access and transportation to the airports. And they're both in the downtown areas, so there's plenty of restaurants. In particular, Oakland's right next to Oakland Chinatown. It's the second biggest Chinatown in the area. So Oakland will be a great site, and also we have a wonderful site in Berkeley. The nice thing about Berkeley is that it's Berkeley High School, Berkeley Community Theater, and so we'll be able to save a lot of money. We will not be obligated to any hotel rooms at all because it's a separate site. We can bring in food, unlike most convention centers, you have to use their catered food, especially for lunch. In this case, we can bring in outside caterers and save a lot. We're estimating we'll save over $20,000 on the food alone, and save money on hotels as well because we won't be obligated to any particular hotels. There is one hotel in the downtown area that has 150 rooms that we can use there, and then plenty of other locations as well. So please take a look at our website. Please check out the information. We think that we'll save money. We think we'll have a great convention. And come to Alameda County, Berkeley, or Oakland. Thank you.
The home of the largest Arab population outside the Middle East, a population that we built relationships with through the Native Presidential Campaign, as well as the Congressional Campaign of Amy Smith in 2006. We are the home of an international airport. It is a hub of Northwest Airlines and many other airlines, easily reached by our delegates and the media. I won't go into too much more detail. I'm inviting you to visit the website we put together with our proposal at www.detroitgreens.org/ANN08. And I would urge you to consider Detroit, please, and if not next year, some year in our green, growing future, I hope we can visit the city of the future, Detroit. Everybody have a safe trip home. Thank you very much. Again, the website is www.detroitgreens.org/ANM08. Thank you.
Tried hard to get permission to get the fireworks, we couldn't see the full permit, and they wouldn't allow us to do it. We apologize for that. We are absolutely delighted to be here. Before we start the pitch, I did want to just bring, just share something. I think a lot of times when delegates come to these meetings, they don't know the thousands and thousands of greens that are spread all throughout the country who are appreciating the energy and time you put into making sure that the National Party is healthy and it keeps going and it's strong. And I haven't been able to attend the last national meeting, and I just want to know that my role, back in my state, my town, I think we're appreciative of that. I know there are thousands of us. So thank you for spending time to do this.
In our getting into this presentation is that we actually have really gotten some press already, so we will get a lot of press when you come to the convention, we got some articles in our Star Tribune paper, Cam had some radio interviews. Both of us are elected office holders, and on with the show here. We are the Green Party of Minnesota, inviting you to come visit.
Minneapolis is ready and anxious and eager to have the Greens there in 2008. Minneapolis, from the media to the government to the Greens there.
The next one is
I'm Cam Gordon. I'm a founding member of the Green Party of Minnesota. We started there in 1994. I'm also elected to the Minneapolis City Council. I represent the second one.
I sit on the Minneapolis Park and Recreation Board. I am in my 5th term, of which the 3rd term as a Green. The person who's not with us today, Dave Berger. And before we show you about our city, I just did want to read you one little highlight from one of the articles. As many of you may know, the Republicans are coming to St. Paul for their conference. And so, in the Star Tribune, it said, with the GOP convention in St. Paul, the Twin Cities could become an epicenter of national politics in 2008. So we want to show you about Minneapolis. Here we go.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. That's it.
All right.
Music.
No way.
Midwestern city that treasures the business that we're able to provide. So all in all, a very strong performance by Minneapolis.
The other half of the fireworks, that's only part of the fireworks. I want to tell you a little bit about dreams in Minneapolis. After we've done what Mrs. Cannon is and me, moving right along, we have a convention over here, who has to get a button.
I just want to tell you that we do want you to vote, and we're basically blatantly here asking for your vote in Minneapolis when you do it. Make it your first choice, and I want to give you 4 reasons you can keep in mind to remember. The first is that we are centrally located. We are a hub. Transportation is something that will be solved. Second is we are a green city. We are green in all senses of the word. We have a long history of being strong in terms of labor and progressive values, and also we have a very strong Green Party in the city. The third thing is that we have the foundation in place with our volunteer and our proven track record of being able to do these kinds of things as a party to pull this off. And the last thing is we have the state-of-the-art facilities, fully unionized hotels. And all things are all set up.
One of the things we want to share with you is what we've been doing as Greens in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is a very, very green city. Go ahead and tell them what you've done on the council, Cam.
Well, I've been born and raised in Minneapolis, and of course love it and brag about it all I want, and there's more on our website. But we as Queens, and not just me on the council, have been pushing to shape the future, actually making Minneapolis more future-focused, ecologically wise, and socially just city for a long time. Some of the things we've done recently are we're holding the police more accountable. We're making sure there's civilian oversight of the police. We passed a plan, a 10-year plan for homelessness. We're also working on a plan to end youth violence, which is one of the most persistent problems we have going on in our city. We have an affordable housing trust fund. We've developed 24 sustainability indicators, and I encourage everybody, please pick up one of the reports at length. We're quite proud of these. Not only are they sustainability indicators for environmental issues, but also social issues. There's many of these back there. I'm also delighted that you can take them home and be relatively guilt-free. They're printed in total 100% recycled and essentially ink. We're trying to get the whole city to do that. And there's lots more. A couple other things is that we're ranked as one of the best bicycle cities in the city just recently. More people bike to work in Minneapolis than anywhere else. I think we're the third according to that. And we also have a great program, a nationally recognized neighborhood revitalization program, which actually takes money from property taxes and gives it down to neighborhood organizations so they can invest in their own community in a very grassroots, decentralized way.
And in the parks, what we've done is, over my 18 years so far there, I worked a lot on sustainability, and just a couple of highlights. We no longer use any kinds of tropical woods. We use 50% post-consumer office paper. We use zero VOC paints in our 49 community centers. And we have rain gardens. We actually have rain gardens in some of our land. We are in the process of switching from biodiesel fuel operations at our forestry operations, and we've replaced gasoline-powered tractors with electrical units. So we are working hard on being sustainable and green.
And that's just a little of it. You gotta come and see the other stuff that we're doing there. And these are some of the players that are doing it. Over the past 12 years, we've run over 100 candidates to elected office. And actually, we've got some who have won.
You see Winona up there from our past. Out in the middle is Elaine Fleming, who is the mayor of Cass Lake and our native friend. Natalie Johnson-Lee next to her, who was on the city council. Dean Zimmerman down on his bike, who was a city council member. And pretty much everybody else has been runners and worked hard. This little thing up here was they have an 8-person bicycle that runs, and they do that in parades.
Pedagog public.
So we want you to come. We've got lots of volunteers ready to go, and we've hosted, of course, a super rally, as some of the rest of you have. We have 100 volunteers at least that work the state fair, and we have already 24 people that have signed up to work to help host the convention. So we have the convention center and the Millennium Hotel reserved for the convention in the week of July 9th to 14th. We also have some cheaper rooms already also upon reserved in the Ramada Inn. We actually have camping in national and state parks, and we will have a few slots in homes for some of you that can't afford the hotel prices. The actual convention has to on the floor, if there's all 1,000 to 1,500 of us next year, will have to be at the convention center. Otherwise, everything else will be in the Millennium Hotel.
And the Millennium is right a hop, skip, and a jump across the street from the convention center, so it'll be a great combination.
So we have a website. We ask you to visit our website at www.gpaus2008, minnesotagreens.org. And it's very extensive, and it was really fun to put together, so read it anyway, you know, just look at it and find out lots of wonderful things. So please come. We're looking forward to seeing you. We are green and growing, and we want you to come grow with us.